In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I went from making $32,000 at my standard 9-to-5 job, from owning 0 properties last year, to now owning 8 real estate units this year. I was able to quit my job and now I make passive income from real estate. And it's so easy that even if you're working a normal job, you can do it too, because I'm going to show you how you can do it without a lot of money. I didn't have a rich uncle or a trust fund, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can start literally right now, and stick around to the end, because on the last point, I'm going to show you how, even if you don't have a lot of time or literally any money to start out, I'm going to show you how you can get started right now. So the first property that I ever bought was actually a conventional mortgage, and I paid a 20% down payment on a small condo by the beach in Florida. Now, I wouldn't recommend that because this is going to show you how you can even buy more properties faster than I did. When you put a giant 20% down payment on a property, now you have way less cash to play with and then invest in other properties with. So I'd recommend, especially if it's your first time home buying and you found a good lender, try to do a only 5% down payment conventional loan, or an FHA loan where you can put down even less percent. And that way you're going to be able to hold on to a lot of your hard-earned cash and still be able to buy a property. Now, a lot of people might hit me with, well, Anita, what if I have to pay PMI? Private mortgage insurance. Whenever you pay less than 20% down payment on a house, you're going to have to pay PMI. And this is just for the lender's security, because the lender goes, hey, this person did not put a lot of money down on this house. I need to have a little bit of cushion money from you every single month to ensure that you're actually in this thing, and just some cushion money in case anything goes wrong. Because the home buyer didn't really give me a lot to work with here. So that's kind of the mindset of the lender, and what you want to do is still pay that PMI if you can. So PMI is usually only around 0.3 to about 1.5% of the total loan amount. So that works out to about $30 to $70 per every $100,000 borrowed per month. So for my blue property, the PMI was going to be an additional, I think, around $45 a month or so. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people have this mentality of like hard focusing on the fact that they have to pay this private mortgage insurance, and they're like, OMG, I don't want to pay another, let's say, $45 a month on this thing. But what a lot of people don't realize, it's actually better to pay the PMI, because yeah, you're paying like $45 a month, for example, for it, but now you have all this extra cash that you can play with and buy another property with. So it's very small thinking when you're just focused on the PMI and not thinking about how much you can grow and expand. And this is a big problem. A lot of people just want to hold on so much to what they have instead of just like saying, you know what, instead of one property, I could have 2 properties or 3 properties. Let's say instead of putting $20,000 down on one property, you only put 5% down on that property and then put another 5% down on 2 more properties. So now you have 3 properties instead of just 1. And let's say each property cash flows you $500 a month. And so now, because somebody wanted to save $45 a month on PMI, now they're missing out on the cash flow that the other 2 houses could bring. So you see why it's tiny thinking now to focus on that insurance? And what's even better is an FHA, Federal Housing Administration loan. For this loan, you can put down as low as 3.5% down and get an entire property. So cool, huh? So the downsides to FHA loans, though, are that you can only borrow a certain amount of money, and also you can usually only use it as a primary residence home, meaning you actually have to live in the property to be able to qualify for that loan. And the next 6 units that I got was actually a really creative way to purchase real estate without needing a lot of money and not having to get approved for a lot of different types of loans. Here's the thing. When I was working my job, I only made about $32,000 a year. So think about this. They're not going to approve me for like 7 different properties because they're going to say this girl really probably can't afford it. So what I did, I got creative and I said to myself, how is it that I can own 7 different properties with the least amount of mortgages and have the mortgage officer still be able to trust me and think that I'll be able to pay this mortgage off? So what I did was I bought 2 big houses and split each house into 3 different units. Yep, totally allowed in the housing market that I chose. So what did I do? I found a 4-bedroom or a 3-bedroom house, and what I did was I split it up into 3 different houses. So I did that 2 times for a total of 6 units. Now this made it way easier for a mortgage company to lend me money because all I needed was 2 mortgages instead of 7. Because think about it, guys, with the amount of money that I was making, it was already a stretch to even get approved for 2 more mortgages. But what I did was we actually, with the mortgages, showed the mortgage company that we were going to split up the unit into different units and actually have cash flow coming from those individual units. And we showed them the rents in the area, how much the rents were going for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 1-bedroom, 1-bath studio apartment, etc., and showed them what we intended to do with the property. Now, this allowed the mortgage officer, even though I was making peanuts probably in their eyes, to actually accept my mortgage request. Genius, right? I thought so too, but I can't take all the credit because I did get some of this information from some great friends and mentors. But the truth is that I wanted to share this with you just to show you that even if you're not making millions of dollars, you can do it too. And make sure to subscribe if you want to know the exact step-by-step process that I use to be able to purchase these properties in such a short amount of time, exactly what I told the lender, and how we asked our construction company to build these properties so that we can make them as profitable as possible. And that's how I was able to get 7 whole units that are profitable in under a year. And technically under my name, I have 8 properties, but I don't count the last one simply because I married my husband and he had already owned it prior to knowing me. So even though we both share all of our properties together, that one I wouldn't necessarily count as much as my property. If this video inspired you, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to keep learning more about real estate, make sure to click on this video here where you can learn more about investing and building your $1 million real estate portfolio. See you in the next one.